interesante que está dirigida en gran medida a la gente que está interesada en organizaciones grandes, en el gobierno. Una charla que nos va a dirigir uno de los miembros más interesantes de la comunidad porque viene del lejano oriente, de Taiwán. Franklin Weng. Por favor, Franklin, muchas gracias.
Hola a todos. That's probably only 2 words I know in Spanish. Yeah, okay, I'm Franklin from Taiwan. Okay, I will do that myself. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I'm from Taiwan, and this talk is talking about how our government migrate to open document format. The main concept here is we migrate to open document format, not LibreOffice. That's the main concept here, so I will explain in more detail later. Yeah, it's pretty tough actually, and I'm not saying that we are very successful, but definitely we are not failed. We're still going on the way. Okay, so you know where Taiwan is, right? You know?
Next to Germany.
Here, that small island. We are only 22 million people, but we are pretty free. Our country, our society is pretty free. But even that way, we still have many difficulties promoting free software or open software in our society or in our government. Okay, so actually I will start the story. Let me try to control the time. Okay, the story begins actually in 2009. At that time, our government had already announced that ODF is our national standard back in 2009. Okay, but without any surprise, nobody cares. Really, nobody cares. Everyone is still using Microsoft Office. Nobody cares. But in 2014, this incident changed everything. The UK government announced to use open document format as their standard. So this so our government started to think about that, and in the bottom half of 2014, one of our central government called National Development Council, they started a serious discussions about awaken ODF again as our national standard. That starts from 2014. Okay, so all the projects start from 2015, and that's our. We have so far with 9 years. We have three-year plan, 3-year project. Okay, so the first 3-year project is from 2015 to 17, but it's just starting. It's just starting. So we have hold 13 very big explanation sessions. The target audience is the users in our government, local government, and actually they are the users that will use ODF, right? They will use LibreOffice, something like that. That we need to communicate with them directly. So we have at least at that year 13 big, including our outside islands, not only in Taiwan island. But at the same time, our government is doing something very stupid. Because that's all just beginning. They are just trying to explore how to do that. So they announced to every unit in our government, local government, central government, saying that now all your websites, you have put some files on the website for people to download, right? And they are mostly in Microsoft Office format, like DOC, or the DOC, PPT, or now new DOCX, PPTX. So they announced that every unit need to convert their convert the Microsoft format into ODF. Actually, that's very stupid, and that's a very bad move. Why? Because it triggers a lot of complaint. Because people haven't received any training courses about that. They even have no idea what ODF is. Of course, we have experience sessions, but each experience session for probably 400 or 500 people come in, but that's still very few, right? So they just announced that you need to convert the files. Oh, that triggers really a lot of complaints. And we are the first one to face those conversions. Not our government. We because the people call us to compare everything that. Okay, but anyway, they're still doing something that they put the training courses about LibreOffice. That time still LibreOffice, Writer, Calc, Impress. They put the training course into our government's common purchase contract. That means all the government units, they can direct buy courses, buy training courses from us, from the community or from other commercial computer school. Yeah, so we have three main units that will provide this training course, include us from the community. So that's the first 3 years. It started not very well, actually, I can say, because we really received that. But that's reasonable. We can understand why we have a lot of. So we are still trying to make our government move in the correct way, Okay, but also, then in second 3 years, that's from 2018 to 20. They are starting to understand what we should do in our government. They start to understand what we should do. So the first one they do is steal those file conversion things they put into the KPI fund of every government unit. That is, you need to achieve how many ratio of your files converted to ODF, and that's in your performance. That's one of the KPIs. Actually, this is a very important way to push those units move. But next one is very important one. They contact one of our local developers. Our local developers, they're called OSSII. Actually, it is also one of the supporters of this event. And they contacted them to start to customize. This is OX Office, but actually it's also a customized version of the LibreOffice. So the source is from opensource.org, openoffice.org to LibreOffice. But anyway, you can say that it is just a customized version of LibreOffice. But they convert the customer into this called NDC, that is National Development Council. NDC ODF production tools, that is, they tell people in the government that this is our national version of tools, of ODF tools, national version of ODF tools. Okay? So why do they have to do this? Okay. So for this, we have many workarounds for about Chinese, or say Shizeke. Shizeke means Chinese, Japanese, Korean. So that's the East Asian language. That's very different from English or Latin language. But we have many workarounds, and some special requests, very funny requests, like we have to detect if this ODF file is generated from Microsoft Office. And if we open a file that is generated by Microsoft Office, it will pop a warning message saying that you are using the wrong tool. Okay. Okay. In this version, national version of the tool, we have some features like this, very funny features, but I think that it did well. Yeah. Okay. So one question is that, why not just use LibreOffice? One important reason is this, because the government said that cannot benefit certain vendors. Oh my God, really? Who is the vendor of LibreOffice? We don't know. But it also blocks Microsoft. It means we cannot benefit certain vendor, so we certainly cannot purchase Microsoft Office. And we provide national version of ODF tools, telling users that this is one of the tools you can use to generate open document format file. And there's no, actually, with this way, users in government cannot complain that why do we have to use this? Because it's national version. You are in the government, is using this version is very typical, is very reasonable, right? And it's customized from free software, so we actually don't really benefit certain vendors. Okay? So this one, but another important reason is that if we have any bugs, any problems in LibreOffice, we can file a bug in Bugzilla, yes, of course. But when can we wait to get it fixed? Right? If it's from upstream, it's very, very slow. We cannot push everyone says, hey, you should fix that for me because it's important in Taiwan. No way. Right? So using this way, at least our local developers get involved in, and in this version, we can fix some bugs quickly, even it's not in a typical way. But at least we can solve problem at that time. Of course, most of the fix cannot back to upstream because no way the upstream can accept our way to solve those problems. But at least in this version, we can do that ourselves. So actually, I think this is a very important step of our promoting ODF in Taiwan, especially in government. So we just tell you download this tool. It's freely. Download this tool and use that. It's national version, so no any problem about the commercial problem or certain vendor problem. So yeah. So that's one of important thing in our second 3-year plan. And at that time, our government start to understand at least how to do the right thing, I can say. Again, we are not ex-user to use LibreOffice. We are not migrate to LibreOffice, but we are migrate to open document format means because LibreOffice and its derivatives is the best tools for generating ODF files, right? So I also did one thing. Another question is that how to tell if an ODF file is standard? Just like we say, we have ODF file generated from Microsoft Office. And if you open it with LibreOffice, it will sometimes very, very bad, really. So how can we tell that if the file is standard? It's not easy, actually. We have ODF validator. At that time, it's not. And now the ODF validator is hosted by TDF. But at that time, it's not yet. Not yet. And actually, that tool cannot really 100% solve this problem. Because even some file generated from LibreOffice will be just as non-standard. Yes. So I provide another solution that in 2017 in Rome, I brought these NDF ODF application tools into the ODF process. The way I want to show that this NDC ODF application tool can generate the standard ODF file, and it's 100% compliant with ODF. So that way we can tell users that using this tool, the file generated, the ODF file generated by that is no problem. It's certainly standard. Okay? But for other tools, actually in that process, we have already put some problem generated by Microsoft Office or even from Google Doc. There are some problems of that. So we have a report, I remember. Anyway, I just told them that, so we have two ways to prove the standard, the file is standard. One is from the validator, and then the other one is that you can say if an ODF file opened with NDC ODF application without any layout problem, you can say it's standard. Right? That's the two ways. So I think this is a very important step using this. Okay? So that's the second 3 years plan. Then the third, from 2021 to 23, a big pandemic hit. So many activities, including training courses, are shut down. Right? And everyone is locked at home. So many employees from government are forced to work from home. So at that time, the online solution became very important. Online solution. At that time, this is called ODF Web or NDC ODF Web. It is also customized by the OSSII. Later we'll introduce that's called OXOL, OX Office Online. Actually, it's also customized from Collaborate Online. Yeah. So, but this solution becomes very important because people are forced to work from home. So they needed to generate file not only by their own laptop, but also online. And they need to collaborate document together. So this part, not only online solution, but also Nextcloud, the storage part. Nextcloud, the combination is very important. Okay, actually, for the later use, Nextcloud part is even important. More important than the online part. Okay? But anyway, this solution became very important at that time. So in the third year plan, they are mainly about online solution. Mainly about online solution. The training course the training courses were all shut down in 2021 and started a few from 2022. And this year, we have a lot more than this year. But still, now all our training courses, they are already not only Writer Impress, also about the online solution. Yeah, they have training courses include this one. How to use that at your work, something like that. And another important reason for using online solution is that we try to solve the problem reading ODF file on mobile device. You know, previous years we have apps, but the app doesn't work very well. So actually, it's pretty early that our government start to think about that. If we cannot find a very good solution for web device, probably the online solution is one good solution for that. But because you just need to use the browser on the mobile phone, and you can. Okay, it's still very difficult to edit files on the mobile phone, but still it's a solution. So, and in these 3 years, the KPI still says that is the file generated from the government or the put on the website. They still need to be at least you need to provide audio files. You can have Microsoft format, you can have PDF, at least you need to provide audio file. Okay? And that audio file needs to be, should be generated by our national version of the tool. Right? Okay? So this is about the cloud part. That I just said that actually, especially this year, the Nextcloud part of the solution is even more important than the online solution, than the editor. Online solution is just for editing audio file, but we have developed some more modules for Nextcloud Mainly for the privilege control, I think. Yeah. Okay. So we also provide some API that's for the government to use. Okay. And in 2022, we have a new department in the government called Ministry of Digital Affairs, MODA. MODA is announced as MODA. MODA in Taiwanese means engine. They wish themselves to be the engine to push Taiwan forward in the digital world. So they took control of the ODF file. So the NDC ODF application tool is renamed to MODA ODF application tool, but that's just for tools. Right? This is that, right? New department, MODA, Ministry of Digital Affairs. Okay? Huh? Yeah. Okay, and from last year, since the MODA start to control, I start to talk more with our government, talking about what? About combine the ODF policy with this called PMPC, public money, public code. You have idea of that? That's a campaign from Europe saying that because the work from government, all the money spent by government is from people, from their people, right? So they should have their system, either they build the system or they buy the software, they should be open source to let all the people use. They can have control of that. They can know what the system is really for. So I start to combine these two together because, later I will talk about that, because in one very important part of PMPC is about open standard. The government needs to use open standard so that his system is transparent enough to protect our data. And ODF is one of the open data standard. So we combine these two together. So that's what I'm currently talking with. This year we have more sessions discussing about PMPC in the government. So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay? So some methods our government use to try to adopt the ODF policy is that the attachment of the official government document, digital document. The official government document has its own format, is in XML. But the attachment of that document needs to be ODF or PDF or zip. Microsoft format is not allowed. And they block that from the document exchange. You know, we have document generation and document exchange, right? A document signature and document exchange. They block that over there. If the document contains Microsoft format, it will be blocked there. Yeah. But of course, people have their way like this. They will contain a zip file, contain only a document DOC file inside. Yeah, yes, sure, but it's understandable actually. But anyway, they are using that way. They control the flow of the document exchange. So they ask that you need to use ODF. Actually, it's not 100%, but at least you need to use that to a certain ratio. So that's also in the KPI. And the KPI, they are trying to, the ratio of ODF attachment, they didn't ask the government to use 100% all at once, but gradually you need to go into 100%. Yeah, so the ratio is one of the KPIs, and it's not including PDF. That means you can have a lot of different attachments, but they only count If you have ODF file, you will have Microsoft files, something like that. So the ratio of ODF file needs to be getting higher and higher. And actually, as far as I know, for this year, the standard is at least 90%. For all the government units, at least 90% of the attachment needs to be ODF. And also, they have the KPI about, they ask the employees in the government to attend training courses of ODF. Again, they are teaching writer, care, impress, but we are not saying that it's LibreOffice training courses. So we are using the ODF application tools as our tools, but we say it's ODF training courses, not LibreOffice training courses, but it's still actually, it's actually the same thing, right? And also, they're trying to control the budget. The budget means you cannot really buy Microsoft Offices unless you have very good reasons, right? They have the control of the budget. That you cannot spend your money on that. You cannot spend too much money on that. That says. So why do you? So of course the Microsoft will protest like that, but again, they are saying that we are using national versions. Actually, they are trying to protest, but our government can stand very still over there because they insist on open standard, not the tool. LibreOffice is one of the tools that can generate good ODF files. And they just tell Microsoft that, I know you can generate ODF file too, right? But your file is not very good. It's not very standard. You should improve your ODF file. If you can generate 100% compliant ODF file, we have no way to tell users not to use your tools. But so far it's not. So I say at least our government stands pretty still, at least when dealing with Microsoft. Yeah, that's one of the main concepts is to stick to open standard, not stick to the tool. Okay? So, of course, we have a lot of difficulties. Just like what I said, we go to the wrong way at the beginning. So they just tell everyone to convert the Microsoft format files into ODF. That's pretty stupid, I need to say. But another important thing is that at first, they are doing this with what I call project-based thinking. What does that mean? I have to. Okay, this is how people do without help. If we just tell people to download the tool and install and use to generate ODF file, and soon they will start complaining, what the hell is it? And soon they will give up. Right? So they will go back to the Microsoft Office. I call that the Stockholm syndrome, but anyway. That's people, if we don't have data about that, that's what they will do. But what is project-based thinking? Is that they ask one certain computer school, commercial computer school, to run this project, but for them, okay, they have project management, they have analysis, okay, what training course you will want. And they provide the training courses, yes, and when the project ends, that's it. They don't really try to help people. They just provide training courses. For them, it's a project. And when the project ends, not my business. So for the user part, it's still the same, For the user part, it's still the same. That's what I call project-based thinking. So when we try to do the ODF policy, we cannot do it as project. Because when the project ends, everything ends. We need to keep telling people we need to keep going, not just by project. Of course, for the government's sake, they need to have project, but the thinking, the concept, they cannot be project-based. It should be a long-term thing, right? So that's what our local development means, and that is one of the reasons why we cannot stick to tools. Because if you stick to tools, like we tell people to use LibreOffice in the government, there will be a lot of Me Too requests. A word can do this. What is the spreadsheet of Microsoft? I forgot. The spreadsheet solution. Oh, Excel. Okay, I forgot because I never use that. Excel has these features. Why does Calc does not have these features? There will be a lot of Me Too requests, right? So if you really stick to tools, it will be fall into a competition with other tools, right? So it's really difficult to tell users that if you want to do this, you actually don't need that feature. You can do other way, probably a bit few more steps, but you can do that. But it's very difficult to tell users that you can do this way. They just want that feature, right? For the government part, the toughest difficulty probably is that they are really trying hard to avoid offending employees in the government. They are trying not to directly tell you what you should do. They just tell us, okay, now we have this policy here, and you should achieve this, and you can do that with these tools. But they cannot really put a very hard, oh, you did not achieve this, so we need to punish you. No, they cannot do that. And sometimes it's very, very difficult, so it's really going very slowly, actually. So you see, from now till now, it's already 9 years at least. And I'm still saying we are not very, very successful, but we are still going. But it's really slow. And it's also the same when we are talking about PMPC in the government. It's the same thing. Yeah, because they are trying not to directly change the way the user in the government do. They cannot directly change that because they will restrict a lot of resistance. Okay, so the last part of this talk is talking about how we communicate with those basic users in the government. And one important, very important key concept is we tell them why we should use ODF, not Microsoft format. Why? We need to tell them why. We talk about interoperability. It's not just we generate document, exchange the document. It's not just that. Because in traditional way, document exchange is paper-based. So paper-based means we generate the document and we print it out, right? We print it out. So if the document looks okay in the print out version, everything is okay. But with digital document, it's very different. It's very different. A typical example is that when we just start ask user to convert Microsoft format into ODF, we receive one angry call from a user saying that, what the hell is this ODF? The table in my document is split everywhere when converting to ODF. We think, what? Split? What does that mean? They are very, very angry and they complain a lot. And after several minutes, we say, okay, can you mail your document to us so that we can take a look at that? So when we saw the document, we were, your table. How do we generate the table in the document? With your table, and we choose how many rows and columns, right? And then we'll start the table, right? Of course, he does not do this way. You know how he do that? No, not join lines. No. Every cell of the table is one text block. Every cell. in the table is one text block, and they put those text blocks pretty beautifully. You know? When in the printout version, it's totally okay. But when in the digital document, it starts to convert that, of course, the writer does not see a table, right? They see a lot of text blocks. That's what we say. When started using digital document, the really problem started to rise. So we need to talk about interoperability. So we have 3 factors. We tell them that there are 3 factors we need to consider. The first one is file format. So we tell them, you know, ODF vs OXML. Actually, many users use DOCX, PBX, SLSX every day, but they don't know that is OXML. So we tell them that, okay, we have now ODF and OXML, and they both are international standards. But what will happen if we choose Microsoft format as our national standard? What will happen? So we give them this course. Okay, so we have Office 2003, 2007, 10, 13, 16, and actually now we have 19 and 365. We have so many versions of this Office. So the first problem is, if we use OS as our standard, which version should we use? We told them that actually the OSM starts from 2007, and the 7, 10, 13, 16, all the OSM in that version are different. Every version is different. And if you generate a file, a DOCX file in 2016, they cannot be opened in 2007. But still, there are still many government units, especially local, probably in the mountain area, pretty poor. They still use very old version of Microsoft Office. So, if we use the OSML as our national standard, that means if the version updated, now we have 2019 or even newer versions, we have to buy everything again. Because we use that as our national standard, and now the standard is changed, right? So we told them this, and they start to understand, oh, that's what really happened. So, but if we use ODF, actually we don't need to about this, don't worry about this. I give them this example. For example, this is the document I generate for this. And you can see that this ODT file is generated by LibreOffice 6, right? So I open it. And you can see this document. And you can see its layout. They have items. And this paragraph with one line in the next page. Right? There's a table here. Okay? So I open it with the newest version, LibreOffice 7.6. Okay? Then I open it with another version. You can see the layout is exactly the same. This paragraph has one line in the next page, and tables here exactly the same, right? You know what version I used to open this? 3.6. More than 12 years ago. So I tell them that, of course, if you compare the feature in the tools, the 3.6, of course, is not competitive to 7.6, right? The features are different, but the standard should be the same. The format standard should be the same. So even when I use LibreOffice 6 to generate file, I can still open it without any problem in LibreOffice 3. I just simply show them this. Yeah. But anyway, right? So if opening DOCX file made by 2007, that's what I just say, you cannot really open that. And it will cause a lot of problem, especially for those poor government, right? And actually, I'm asking then another question. Now, you ever use 2003, 2007, 2010, now 16 or 19? Why did you upgrade your office? Why? Is it because, hey, in 2006, there's a feature that's so cool, I cannot live without that. So let's upgrade to 2016. Is that? Of course not. Why? Why do they upgrade? Because Microsoft tells them to upgrade, right? And actually, I asked them, how many features in Word? You know? Let's say 1,000 features, okay? My real question is, how many features do you use? In one hand, two hands, probably add my foot. How many features do you use? Do you really need to upgrade to the newest version to use these features? Of course not. Right? So it's just a feature. They are probably trying to purchase the newest version, but actually you don't really need that. So that's what I tell users, and then really they all, many reactions, but that's it. The second is the concept of word processing. I compare these two. Now I'm showing you two pictures. I'm now switching these two pictures. Can you see what the difference is?
The name of the cell.
Right? The difference is here. Right? Here, right? Here. I tell them that the cursor is currently here. For our human eyes, we see no differences here. Right? But from the eye of the word processor, like writer or word, it doesn't matter. From the eye of the word processor, they are pretty different things. This one, in this file, here he knows it's called the title. But in this file, he just see it as normal text with size 28 and the bold. For the eyes of the word processor, he just see normal text. He does not see a title here. He just see normal text with size 28 and the bold. That's it. Okay. Ow. My time is up, so. Okay, the third part is about the fonts, because we don't really have many. For example, I'm not using Microsoft Windows, so many fonts you use, I don't have that. So if talking about interoperability, you need to consider about the font. Okay, so finally, we talk about the attitude. We face the problem, not solve the problem. When we see a problem, how do we face that, not how do we solve that? But you know, people always complain a lot when using, especially when using free and open source software. Complain a lot. And there are a lot of problems here, but I asked them, don't you have any problem using commercial software, using proprietary software? Let me recall some good memories like this. Everyone knows this system, right? Right? So we are all deeply used to Windows system, but do you remember how you react when you see this? Will you really report the problem to the Microsoft? No, usually you just press 3 keys, Ctrl Alt Delete, right? And what if you see this? Will you say, oh, that's sucks, I never use Microsoft again? Will you say that? No, you won't say that, right? So I just told them that when using free software or open source software, One thing we can do is that if you see a problem, we can together make it better. This picture is from 2016 in Brno, the Hack 9. I was working with Ike. We are dealing with a problem from Taiwan. And I raised in the Bugzilla, and I asked before the Hack 9 saying that anyone can work this with me. So Ike came to me, and we are working with that, and we solved that problem. So we say, if you have problem, this is one thing we can do. We can do that together. If you think a transaction is wrong, you can contribute contribution here. We can together make it better, not just waiting for the commercial company. That's attitude we tell user you should have, not only using free software or using Libra or something like that. Actually, this is what we can have. So the conclusion, if we want to say that in our government, when we trying to push the ODF policy government, we stick more to the file format, to the standard, not to the tool. If you really stick to the tool, you will fall into the competitions, the feature competitions. But we're talking about file format, and we just say we just need tools to generate ODF file correctly. Any tool that can generate correct ODF file is fine. Even if it's Microsoft Office, if you can generate ODF file correctly, it's fine. But of course, do we really need to spend that money? That's another problem. But at least we tell them that we stick to ODF. You need to generate standard ODF file. So just remind them that no software is perfect, but with free and open source software, we can make it better together. That's what we try to communicate with users. Okay, gracias. That's my talk. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
That's independence, sovereignty.
Yeah.
Technology independence. That's truly remarkable.
Yeah.
I also think that maybe it was not perfectly planned that you deployed ODF
Tools, yeah.
tools.
Yes.
Because if the government wouldn't have do it that way, in a very strict and powerful way, maybe we couldn't have. I'm thinking in Mexico, for example.
Oh.
If you're not pushing from the top and doing it, you have to do it because you have to do it. That's the way to go.
Yes.
Instead of going,
Yes.
learn first.
So, yeah, I know. So that is one thing I tell people asking me about how to do this. Of course, it's one power from top to bottom, from up to down. That's from government. This is very important. More important is that when this happens, we are ready to work with that. So we have worked to promote free software for 20 or 30 years. And when this happens, of course, the central government asks all the government units that you should install this in your computer. And actually, I know there are still units that still using Microsoft Office. I know that. But they are not saying that you cannot use that. You just say, you at least you need to install this one in your, that's of course is a power asking them to do that. And with, at least with the national version of our tools, no more problem from Microsoft doing that. Yeah, so what we say, we need to work with that because we are already here and we provide necessary communication phase, with necessary training courses like that. We tell users that actually why we need to use this. Yeah.
Just a question. You still have the OX
Oh,
Yeah, you know, the online tool that you, I recall that
you mean OXML?
an online tool.
OXOL, yes.
Do you still have it? Do you still
that's-
use it for this?
That's also another national version called ODF Web, an ODF Web tool. That's also customized from that, from OXO and from Collaborate Online. But we use that name, Moda ODF tool, Moda ODF Web, Moda ODF Web tool as national version. So again, with the same with the same tactics. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Just